Ahoy there, me hearties. This be Captain Silver Hook, and you're listening to the Two Old Pirates podcast. Set sail for an open sea of stories, tales, and some really crazy stuff. I expect you to like and subscribe, lest you be walking the plank. Ha ha ha!
Well, hi, it's Eric, Two Old Pirates. Welcome to episode 41. This is going to be a two-parter. The first part's going to be a true story, 100% true story by Eric. And the second part's going to be based on slang. Old slang that we all grew up with if you're a certain age, and then today's slang, which I don't even understand. I've got three boys. So I'm going to go ahead and open up with this very first beginning of 100% true Eric story. Yet another one. This goes way, way back to around the late 80s, 88, 89, 90, somewhere around there. I used to go surfing. Now, I grew up watching the movie Jaws, and, you know, it's one of those types of movies where it kind of makes you think, you know, when I'm in the water, could I actually be taken by a predator? But, you know, shark attacks are so rare, it's not really that big of a deal. So, around that time, I was really good friends with a guy named Eric and another guy named Derek, and we'd go surfing. You know, we'd go over to Port Aransas, and we'd go over by J.P. Luby, the pier, and we'd go surfing and spend the whole day, you know, just regular teenage kids hanging out and stuff. I had a longboard. What we would do is, my friend Eric, he'd crash over the night before, and we'd stay up late, usually watching Jaws. Don't ask me why, before we'd go, you know, surfing. But we'd watch Jaws, and then we'd do what we call dawn patrol. Dawn patrol. Dawn patrol is when you get up about 5 or 6, and you drive out to the beach. You get there when the sun's coming up, and you go surfing. So, you know, anybody who's ever gone surfing knows all that stuff. Well, we'd done this for quite a while, having fun during the summer and during different breaks that we had and stuff. But my story today is the day Eric stopped surfing. Yes, one thing occurred, and I've never been on a surfboard since. So, it was the summer of 1990. It was a beautiful day. It was a gorgeous day. We went out to Port Aransas to go surfing, as usual. And we'd probably surf for, you know, an hour or two, getting a little tired here and there and stuff. We went out beyond the waves again to catch some more to come back in. And, of course, if anybody's ever been to Port A, you know that they don't have big waves. But we do with what we can. All right. So Eric and I were out there. I think there's a couple other dudes that went along with us. I don't really remember that part. But the important thing was that Eric was like, hey, let's get a drink. And so they're all next one to catch a wave, go in, go up to the pier, and they had like a bait and tackle place there, and you buy like snacks and stuff. So, and he's all, you know, whoever takes the next one in, go get some Cokes or Dr. Peppers and stuff. I said, all right. Well, I happened to be the person who caught the next wave. So I surf in. I had a longboard, a really nice longboard. And so I leave my board. They're still out there in the water, just sitting on their boards. And I make it all the way up to the snack place with the, you know, bait and stuff. And I go in and I buy 4 or 5 Dr. Peppers, and it's just a regular, you know, transaction stuff. When I come out, I've opened up my Dr. Pepper, and I'm kind of drinking it like, except it was out of a can, and this is tea. And I look down at the very end of the pier, where it widens out and people can fish off of it. I see this guy really struggling. You know, he's just really fighting something out there. You know, 18, 19, I'm kind of like, I wonder what this guy's trying to catch, you know? So I proceed to start walking out there. As I'm walking out there, Eric and them see me, and they're like, "DeWolf, you know, throw me our drinks." And I'm all like, I wonder if I could really chunk them from this far to where they were. They're, I don't know, maybe 50 yards away from the pier to the side of it. And so I just started chunking them. And I was strong back then. I had a pretty good arm. And they made it all the way over there to them. And they're like, thanks, dude, thanks. So I kept on walking. I get to the end, and there's all these people like crowding around this guy. And I'm just like, sipping my Dr. Pepper. What's going on? So finally, I asked this other man who's standing there. I was all like, what's going on? And he's all, oh, he's got a good one. He's got a good sized one today. I'm thinking red trout, something like that. I was like, what type of fish? He's all, oh no, it's a shark. A what? Well, he's been catching shark out here. He caught some skipjack, which is another type of fish that when you catch, you hook it in the tail and you basically use it for bait to catch a shark while it's alive and stuff. So yeah, and people that don't really know fishing and stuff and the Gulf Coast and stuff, yeah, skipjack. I said, he's catching a shark. They're like, yeah, he's been fighting it for about 45 minutes now. He's got it on the line. I turn my gaze to the right of me, where Eric and the other guys are enjoying their cold beverage that I tossed out to them. And I'm sitting there, and it's registering in my mind, my young mind. We've been out there surfing all these different times, but especially today. And this guy is 50 yards to the side of us, fishing off of a pier, and he's caught a shark. Now, that's not crazy or anything, but the idea that we're 50 yards away and he's thrown bait in the water and he's not trying to catch a trout or a red or something like that. He's trying to catch a predator, a shark. And the shark that is prevalent down there on the beach, there's different kinds and stuff, are bull sharks. And bull sharks tend to be very aggressive. They don't grow to be very, very big. But when I told the guy, I was all, so he's catching an actual shark right here. I know that sounds naive, but I just went there to surf. I wasn't thinking about the probability of possibly encountering a shark. It's there in the back of your head, but the more you surf, the less you think about it. And so he's all, yeah, we've been seeing you kids over there surfing, having a good time and stuff. He's all, in fact, look. And as I looked between where Eric and the other guys were drinking their sodas and where I was in the pier, there was a couple shadows just swimming around, maybe 10 yards from them. And he's all, those are all, sharks too. And all that stuff from the movie Jaws came back, and I was like, I tapped. I was all, I'm done. I'm done. There is no need for me to get back in the water and surf. And he got the shark up. It was about a 5.5 foot bull shark. And as he got it up, somebody said, boy, you boys over there surfing and stuff, these are big enough to take a foot off. Yeah, take my foot off. So I had to weigh having my foot taken off, possibly very rare, but it was there, or continued surfing. And Eric tapped out that day. I've never gone surfing again. I got rid of my board. I never watch surfing. I never look up YouTube videos on surfing. It's like, it was almost like a God wink to me. It was like, dude, if they're 10, 15 yards away from you, how about they just come over for a little nibble and they take you off a toe or something like that? The other Eric, he didn't enjoy that because I was his ride. So he had to find somebody else to take him surfing and stuff. But that's a true story. And I realized, man, we're in their territory. We're at their mercy. Whether they understand that or not, I understand it. So that is when I actually gave up the sport of surfing, and I've never gone back. That's also around the time that I really got into street ball, playing basketball. And I mean, the big difference between the two, besides being in the water, getting wet, you don't get bit by sharks in basketball. Ever. So I hope that you enjoy this true story of when I gave up surfing. It's not something that I'm proud of, but yeah, it's a true story, 100% true. Hey, welcome to podcast 41 of the Two Old Pirates. Vinny's
41.
back. 41.
41.
So, what we want to do today, just to get it out there to you real quick, is as a teacher, I hear all these different terms from students, and it's considered the new slang, different words that mean different things that I have no clue about. Now, Vinny's a little bit younger than me, and there's going to be things that he doesn't even understand about some of these words because the generational gaps are unique, to say the least. So some of these things that they say in class, they're not cuss words or anything. They're just, I don't understand the meaning to them. And I never thought I'd get to that age where I'd be the old guy where I'm like, what does that mean?
It happens, though. It happens because there's even some of the ones that are new slang that I don't get, and it kind of feels weird to be like out of the loop. But at the same time, you kind of look at like, you almost kind of see it as almost like a time capsule. Like the slang that is used now almost seems like not cool,
Yeah, right.
Because we think about the slang that we grew up with, it's
That-
like
and the
that's
slang-
the way people talk.
The slang I grew up with, that Vinny grew up with, it just seemed like it was always going to be there.
Yeah.
But this new generation, like I said in my classes, when I hear these things, I'm like, what does that even mean? And then they explain to them, I'm like, that has nothing to do with that. How do you... But it's something popular. It's on TikTok, it's on Snapchat, it's on Instagram. They see it, and it's like wildfire. It just spreads, and then it becomes a very notable term. So we want to go ahead and go over some of the ones from maybe the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, maybe even to the 90s that just always seem to be there. They've kind of dissipated. And now we've got these new things that we're going to talk about that are just completely random, and we don't even really follow them. But Vinny knew some of the newer ones more than I do. And I've learned
Just
some of
barely.
these from my students and from my three boys because they say these. But so we wanted to go and talk about some of the ones from the old days. Like, let's see, we had cool.
Yeah.
Cool's always been around.
And these all still mean the same things.
Right.
It's just that sometimes they just fallen out of use.
Dude, I remember seeing a
dude.
comedian where he's all like, "Dude is the only English language that you could use in like everything. Like if you're scared, dude.
Yeah.
If you love somebody, dude.
if
If you're mad at somebody, dude.
if you're surprised, dude.
Dude. So I mean, it's so amazing how you can use that one word in so many different ways. A word that I remember growing up with in the 80s was gnarly.
Yeah.
Dude, that was gnarly,
And
man.
then of
Did you
course
see the way he did that backflip on his skateboard? That was
in the 90s that kind of became rad, tubular.
Yeah. Rad was short for radical, so it'd be like, yeah, rad. It was gnarly, and you'd be like, they don't say things like that
Yeah,
anymore. So
no.
when I've said that in class, I'm like, dude, that was really gnarly.
Time
and
to
they're like,
gnar out.
they're like, what does that mean, Mr. Wolf? And I'm all like, never mind. I'm tapping out. I'm old. Far out.
Yeah, that's
That-
far out. That's like a 70s one.
Yeah,
right?
that was like, dude, that was really far out. That was like crazy. That was like insane or something like that.
It's
So
almost
far
like-
out was like something you couldn't understand. It was like just too
Yeah.
deep. So
And then in terms of older slang too, like going back to cool, people would say something was like something was jumping, something was hopping, something was that's getting into like older slang even.
yeah, another one is tight.
Yeah.
That was tight, fool.
that's
was
a
tight.
that's a 90s thing.
That's
I
a
remember.
tight, man. That was tight. Now you could be dressed nice, and man, you look tight. You know,
Yeah.
the car really, is washed and looks good. Man, your car is tight, fool. I mean, tight just meant like exceptional, really nice, something like that. Groovy, which came, I think,
Yeah,
about in the
that's a
60s.
60s one. Yeah.
And you'd still hear it sometime in the 70s, man, that was a groovy chick or that was a groovy movie. If a kid in 2021 came out and said, man, lunch was groovy today,
Yeah.
I'd probably think he was raised by stoners.
See if he's wearing bell bottoms. That's also something interesting. Talking about groovy and things that really that just fell out of use. Stupid also fell out. Remember when stupid meant like, yo, man, that was stupid.
Yeah, that was like awesome or something.
Yeah.
You're like, dude, it was so stupid. And you're like, now it's just gone back to
Yeah, stupid is being stupid again.
Another one, funky. That was from the 60s,
Like
and then it
60s,
kind of made it.
70s.
But then you had Tone Loc with Funky Cold Medina.
Yeah.
So he still kept it going. Now it's like more along the lines of if somebody really smells bad, they'll be like, man, they had a funky smell going on. They're not like, dude, that guy's funky. In the old days, funky would mean a little bit different, a little
Yeah.
bit.
It was
but-
almost more of a musical adjective.
Yeah. And then you had funky music in the 70s and stuff. But now funky, I think, would be attached to like somebody farting.
Yeah.
And they're like, dude,
Somebody who hasn't showered in a week.
that fart was funky. Awesome. Awesome is just a word that's always been around. Anything that's just amazing is something
Yeah.
that's just outstanding. You did awesome. You'll hear even today, little kids will be playing t-ball and they'll, Daddy, did I do good? You were awesome today. So awesome is just, I think, a generational word that'll always be accepted.
Yeah.
If a kid came off and said, Dad, did I do good? He's like, you were groovy out there.
That wouldn't be
right.
Yeah.
It just wouldn't seem.
So some of them, I think that's important to note. Some of those are going to stand the test of time. Awesome is still out there. Cool is still out there.
Dude will always be there.
And dude is, that's just part of the English language now. But like far out, nobody really says that anymore. Far out, no one really says tight. No one really says extreme or anything like,
Nobody's going to say, man, that was so radical.
Yeah, no one really says that anymore.
It was a time and a place. Something grody.
Yeah.
That's another word.
There you go.
Grody. That's just off the top of my head. Oh my God, grody. Dude, she is so grody looking.
Yeah.
Grody. Think about that word, grody. I don't know the last time I heard somebody say that.
Me neither.
Grody.
Yeah.
But that's something that was just ugly or just not appealing to look at and stuff. They'd be like, dude, the food was grody that we ate last night, and the chick who served it was grodier. I mean, that's the type of words that we used to use. But let's get to today's words.
Yeah, this is what's leading up to, is that language is still evolving.
Oh, yes.
There's still slang. So I think when we start talking about the words that are kind of up and coming, that are modern, remember what I said about how awesome and how cool are always going to kind of be there. So out of these, in the back of your head, let's think about which of these, if any, might still be will become part of the English language. You know what I mean?
Yes. Some of these,
some might.
And here's the deal: I want everybody to understand. I'm old now, so I'm just saying these because it just feels weird saying some of these, just because it doesn't fit in with the way I talk. But I know some of my students, when they hear me say these things in class, they get all like, "Oh no, he did!" He said, yeah. And it's not because it's a cuss word; it's just they see an older person say something that's
means
it
you're
doesn't.
hip.
Yeah. So the first one that we're going to go with was cap. I just learned about cap this week. Right? I'm wearing a cap. Cap can be short for captain. These are all the things I heard and have learned over my life. And then in class, I heard somebody say, "Man, don't be capping on me, fool! Don't cap."
So see, to me, when I hear cap as a slang, I'm thinking, pop a cap.
Oh, yes, that's the other one. Like somebody got capped.
Yeah.
Go cap a fool or something like that. That was the secondary meaning. So people of Vinny's age hear cap, they think that means somebody gets shot.
Yeah.
To me, I'm going to a baseball cap, or I'm going to like short for captain. So hey, he's the cap. Today it means you're lying.
It means you're
not telling the truth.
People.
Yeah, you're just a liar. So if you cap, you're lying.
You're lying. And
I don't know
if you say no cap, that means you're being serious right now.
Yes.
No cap.
So
means,
we're trying to get these.
Yeah.
So yes, say, hey, that ain't no cap. Means that's not BS. It's the truth. If you're capping on me, that means you're lying to me.
Yeah.
Which I don't know where they got the word cap, because like I said, cap, the captain. Next
Language.
one. I have to do this. Let's see. Let me take a drink. My students love when I do this. Sheesh. I don't know why they like it.
I just see it as sheesh.
Yes, everybody's doing it in the hallways. I'll hear 5 or 6 people between classes. Sheesh. So the students asked me the other day, "Will you do sheesh?" And I was all like, "Sure, sheesh." And they're like, "No, you have to do it with a kind of whistle." And I'm all like, "Sheesh." And they're like, "Oh, he did it here." And they were like running around the class. I was like, "What does that mean?" It's just the same. It literally doesn't mean anything.
It's an expression.
Yeah, just sheesh. Can you do sheesh?
Sheesh.
See what I'm saying? There you go.
Watch, it probably means something racist, or we're going to get in trouble for it. Yeah.
Did you really say that exclamation about aliens? I didn't know that I would offend them. They're in outer space. Well, they here, buddy. Another one, a simp, which I learned this from my 13-year-old because he was talking about somebody else online saying, "Man, he's such a simp." When I was growing up, simp was short for simpleton, which means a person lacking basic knowledge and intelligence. So they're kind of simple-minded, right?
Yeah, you'd say they were mentally disabled.
So I told my son, I said, "Why would you say somebody's dumb?" And he's all, "What are you talking about, Dad?" I said, "You just called somebody a simp. That's a simpleton." He's all, "Oh, no. What's a simp?" So
it's generally considered to be a pejorative word. It's kind of like a new swear word. So a simp is basically usually someone
usually
who's
a boy, but it can be anybody.
It's usually a man who is willing to kowtow to the whims and wishes of a woman in the hopes that he can get with her. So he'll just like do nice things for her,
buy her presents.
Yeah, just completely unannounced.
Which I thought that used to be a gentleman. Like you buy things,
know,
you open up doors. I think there's two different distinct meanings, because from what I've heard from some people is somebody who's overly nice to a female will buy them things.
A specific female.
Yeah, somebody that they like.
Yeah.
Right. And that they'll do things, they'll buy them gifts, they'll talk to them, they'll be very, very nice to them.
But usually that's not reciprocated by the woman in this case.
Well, she'll accept the gifts.
She will accept the gifts.
But, in the old days, if you're a gentleman and you liked a girl, you'd buy her things, you'd open up the door for her, you'd take her to the movies and stuff like that. This is all, I think, online more or less.
Yeah, it's more of an
So
online
that's
thing.
the difference where my generation, a gentleman would be a simp back then, because they did very sweet things and nice things because they hoped to win her hand. Now it's a person online who's sending them money, buying them gifts, I guess whatever is online, however you can be nice or something.
Yeah, always liking all of their statuses.
Yeah, just following them like a puppy dog, like puppy dog love.
Pretty much.
In the hope that you can win her affection. So a simp was told to me by my 13-year-old when he called somebody else it, which I was like, then I said, you shouldn't call somebody that.
I think the important distinction is that a simp is somebody who will do all of these things for a woman, but lacks the gall to be able to tell her his feelings.
Like, hey, I really like you.
Yeah,
because once he hears that, once he says that and she hears that, he knows what's going to happen. It's either or.
It's going to be
either she's going to sit there and say, "Oh, I feel the same way," or she's going to be like, "I don't feel that way, but you can keep getting me gifts." Yeah. Which at that point, then he'd really be a simp in my mind. The new version of simp,
yes,
because that means he knows what's out there. He's never going to get it, and he's still going to try. Another one that I learned this week is glow up. I had never heard this before, but glow up is a person who, in the past, was not a very attractive person, but maybe they've worked on themselves, or they came into themselves and they became much more handsome or beautiful. So they say, "Girl, you glow up. You glowed up."
So is that like the "be careful who you make fun of in middle school" thing?
Right,
yeah.
Because you don't know what they're going to turn out to be. So if you're not a very attractive person in 7th or 8th grade, and by your senior year you're beautiful, you're handsome or something, they'd say, "Man, that person glowed up." So glow up is a term that I learned this week. So let's go to the next one. This one I looked up because I snack. A snack. That is if you find somebody attractive.
I was
going to
guess.
Get with them.
I was going to guess.
And say, "Man, that girl, she'd be a snack."
Man. That almost doesn't sound like new slang though. I feel like that's something that's been around for a long time.
So yes, snack is. I mean, what about a meal? I don't know. I don't even want to go in that territory what a meal could mean.
I think
that's today's vernacular. That'd be a marriage. If you had the meal, you'd buy the whole cow. So, not to say that the woman would be a cow. I did not mean that.
That's what I was going to say.
Next one, let's do Stan. Now this one kind of shook me because I've seen it on like major sports writers will say that they're a stan of Steph Curry, or they're a stan of this, and I'm all like,
a big social media thing.
What is stan all of a sudden? I was all like, I understand fan, but they're saying it's stan. So they're actually using a 4-letter word, and it almost sounds like fan, but it's stan. And then I found out today.
Yeah, so stan is a word that came from Tumblr, and it came from Twitter. It came from that avenue of social media, and it's a reference to the song Stan by Eminem.
Which came out like 20 years ago.
Yes, but
so it took 20 years for it to circle in the wind. I've heard it. I like Stan.
Yeah, and essentially, if you don't know what the song is about, it's a song is about. It's told through the perspective of a man named Stan,
who's an Uber fan,
who's a delusional fan of Eminem's.
Right.
And he's writing him all these letters saying, "Why didn't you talk to me after your concert? I was in the front row." Blah blah blah. So he gets progressively more and more crazy, and I won't spoil the rest of the song for you in case you would like to go listen to it, but it's really like, it'll give you goosebumps. So a stan is like a super fan, a rabid, uncontrollable fan. And
but that's not the way that it is. Though,
that's not the way it's necessarily
I think they're
portrayed.
trying to portray like, I'm your number one fan. Remember how they always say, I'm your number one fan. So I think that these people that put up like, man, I've been a stan of so-and-so since the beginning. I think they're trying to say I've been one of the biggest fans of that person. But the connotation between the person's stan that the song comes from and his delusions and his psychosis, where he'd actually do horrible things in the song, they don't understand. They're attaching how big of a fan he was in the song to them being a big fan for a movie star or an actor.
That's why whenever I hear people say "we stand blank" in this household, which is a full
they don't really
understand. Phrase, that's why whenever I hear people say that, I tend to avoid people like that because using slang like that and speaking in that type of vernacular is generally a red flag because Stan almost to me seems like almost has like a negative connotation because of where the word came from.
Right.
So it's like I feel like they don't understand the gravity.
They don't understand it because what happens is it's just popular. They've seen it on TikTok or Twitter or something. They're like, dude, you're saying that you're a stan of
I'm wearing.
You're saying that you're a stan of LeBron James.
That
must mean that you're a big fan.
I'm wearing a BattleBots shirt. I wouldn't say I stan BattleBots. Just like that's Red Sox, right?
The only reason is because you understand the background.
Yes, I would say I'm a huge fan.
Would you say most people investigate?
No.
Or they just run with it?
No, they run with it.
They run with it, and that's the sad thing. So Stan is up there. I don't know if we have anything else. Oh, the last thing that we want to do. It was from, I believe, it was from an NBA player. I don't want to say the wrong NBA player and get this wrong, but basically after he had hit like a big shot, he'd point at his arm and it is ice in the veins, basically. Like I have no nerves. I can shoot from anywhere on the court, and I'm going to hit it and stuff. I'm not nervous at all. I can take the big shot and stuff. And so after he'd hit a big shot, he'd go like this, and that meant I have ice in my veins. It's now become a popular trend for kids to go and back up and go like this. And so, my kids asked me the other day, they're like, can you do that? Can you do, and I'm all like, and then like, oh my God, a teacher did that. I'm all like, I don't think they understand. It came from a basketball player who's saying he's so cool on the court, he doesn't get flustered or anything, that he can hit a big shot. What does that have to do with, oh my God, a teacher? The same thing with cheese. So I guess if I do this, ready? The world's going to end right here. Ready?
All right.
Cheese!
Oh no!
I did both at the same time, sucker.
No, he didn't.
I'm fitting to knock you out, simp.
No cap.
Come back.
No cap. You better be ready because people are going to be pressing F for you. Can I get some F's in chat for this guy?
This is sus.
Leave an F in the comment below.
This is sus.
We didn't even go over sus. What's the first one? Sus just means suspicious. Yeah. It means that you're acting suspect, which I could have sworn, again, that one like F, I feel like that's been around for a lot longer than people realize. If you're acting sus, you're being fishy.
And if you have any slang that's appropriate for the program, of course. We don't want any no racist, no sexist stuff.
Please not.
But if you have any slang, make sure you comment. Make sure that you let us know if any of the ones that we said, like if you really thought it was funny to hear me say sheesh or the ice in the vein or something like that, comment. Let me know stuff. We're still closing in on 500 subscribers. I want to get some more subscribers, so get those people out there to go ahead and subscribe. A lot of people view. We've got people. We just picked up Poland.
Yeah, Poland.
We got Poland last week.
George W. Bush should be proud.
There's people over in Poland listening to us, but we can't get Americans to go ahead and subscribe. I want you to subscribe. We're going to go ahead and do Would You Rather.
Oh, no.
With Vinny. So I'll 3,000 Would You Rathers. So he has no idea. I'm not capping about this. But this will be groovy. This will be groovy.
It's going to be far out.
All right. So I'm just going to pick randomly. I mean, look. Would you rather have boogers in your nose or food stuck in your front teeth forever?
I was going to say forever. I'd probably just say boogers because you can like covertly go to the bathroom and just
No, you can
just blow your nose or whatever.
I don't
but
know.
having food like in my case,
well, I guess this would cover.
It would. In my case, though, I tend to do I mess with my teeth a lot if there's something stuck in it, and that would drive me insane.
Would you rather have a car run over your foot or get kicked by a donkey?
I think I'd rather have a car hit my foot. Because if a donkey or a horse, if they kick you the right way...
You can die.
Yeah, you can die from that.
Would you rather have Scooby-Doo or Garfield as a pet?
Oh, Jesus. Probably Scooby-Doo, because at least like somebody I can get high with.
Would you rather give everyone you meet a dab or a high five? So would you rather do, hey, Vinny, or hey, Vinny?
High five, man.
High five, great success.
High five, yes, very nice. Yes.
Anyways, we hope that you enjoyed episode 41. It's not our longest, but it had some.
It's just for fun. It's just for us goofing off, talking about slang.
So we got slang. We got
would you rather,
old slang. We got new slang.
No
we got
cap.
What would you would you rather this or that? Some of them were deep. Some were just kind of silly. The jelly roll ups or the fruit roll ups, whatever.
That was the most serious question I've ever answered.
But anyways, we hope that you like this, that you'll share, that you'll subscribe. We really want more subscribers. We're getting plenty of listens online on the audio, and we're getting people from around the world and stuff. But our YouTube followers, we need you to click that subscribe button. Come on, let's get the 500.
If you're listening to this on YouTube, go ahead and just click that red subscribe button. That way, you won't have to wait and to see whenever we post on Facebook or anything like that. Next time you're just casually browsing YouTube, you'll see us pop up in your feed like, oh, hey, look, Two Old Pirates.
And we don't mind if you share this with people.
Yeah.
So, to everybody out there, I'm Eric.
I'm Vinny.
Peace out from the Two Old Pirates.
I would like to say I'm the master of my own domain, but I know that ultimately we're all marching toward the same point. So,
those of you that are old enough to remember the Seinfeld episode, but are you master of your own domain? It's the most famous Seinfeld episode of all time.
These pretzels are making me thirsty.
Oh, man.